we'll come back to default. Today, we're diving into some big changes affecting Chase credit cards, specifically the dreaded pop-up jail. This is a targeted restriction that many points and travel enthusiasts have encountered, preventing them from being approved for the highly sought-after Chase Sapphire Preferred and Reserve cards. We'll break down exactly what this pop-up jail is, how it prevents you from getting these Sapphire cards, and explore the recent changes that have impacted both the severity and the duration of this restriction, which is especially important if you're trying to maximize your points and travel rewards. T's delve into the frustrating phenomenon known as the Chase pop-up jail. This jail is essentially a message that appears during your application process, specifically informing you that you are not eligible for the welcome bonus. It's important to note that this pop-up doesn't necessarily mean your application for the card itself will be denied, at least not initially. You might still be approved for the card, but without receiving the valuable sign-up bonus. The pop-up jail predominantly affects applications for the Chase Sapphire Preferred and Chase Sapphire Reserve cards. While the exact wording of the message might vary slightly, it conveys the same disappointing news: you are not eligible to receive the promised sign-up bonus. What are the reasons you might find yourself in Chase's pop-up jail when applying for a Sapphire Preferred or Reserve card? The most common reason is the 524 rule, which means you've already opened 5 or more new credit cards across all banks in the past 24 months. Sapphire bonuses also have specific restrictions. You can't have received one in the past 48 months, you can't currently hold a Sapphire card, and you can't have closed one within the same 48-month period. You might also hit Chase's internal limits for the number of cards you can have with them. Chase also looks out for suspected gaming, like excessively opening and closing cards just to earn bonuses. Applying for too many cards within a short time frame, known as velocity, can also trigger the pop-up jail. Finally, sometimes, even if you believe you meet all the requirements, you can still find yourself in pop-up jail for reasons that aren't always clear. Right, so we're seeing some big changes when it comes to Chase's pop-up jail, especially affecting the Sapphire Preferred and Reserve cards. It looks like jail time is lasting much longer than it used to, with reports indicating holds lasting months, and potentially even years. It's also getting harder to accidentally get out of pop-up jail, with fewer reports of successful escapes. There's even speculation that for those who chronically abuse the system, they may face permanent restrictions. Finally, it appears there are certain individuals who are consistently targeted, regardless of whether they follow all the rules, effectively creating a no-go zone for them. Escape the Chase pop-up jail and finally get approved for that Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserve card. Several strategies can help. First and foremost, patience is crucial, especially adhering to the 48-month rule. If you're eligible, downgrading your existing Sapphire Reserve to a no-fee card like the Freedom Unlimited or Freedom Flex after 1 year can be a good move. While closing the card removes it from your account, it unfortunately doesn't reset the 48-month clock. Reducing your overall card activity, specifically limiting new card applications, can also increase your chances of approval. Consider shifting your focus to exploring card offerings from other banks like American Express or Capital One. Keep a close eye out for any targeted Sapphire offers you might receive outside of the standard application process. Building a strong banking relationship with Chase may help, although it's not guaranteed to get you out of pop-up jail. While applying in a branch has historically bypassed restrictions, it's now a much less reliable method. Finally, attempting to call Chase reconsideration, known as HUCA or hang up, call again, is unlikely to be effective in escaping the pop-up jail. For you submit that application, let's explore how to peek behind the curtain and check for pop-up jail ahead of time. The Doctor of Credit pop-up link, which we've helpfully included, can offer some clues about your jail status even before that hard credit pull. Now, keep in mind that it's not a foolproof system, so treat it as a helpful data point rather than gospel. Another trick you can try is navigating through different Chase application URLs, as sometimes the varying pathways can expose your pop-up jail status. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Default. So, to conclude, the Chase pop-up jail is indeed a real and constantly changing hurdle that you need to be aware of. Make sure you fully understand the rules and the possible negative outcomes before you even think about submitting an application. Your main focus should always be on managing your credit cards responsibly. Be sure to thoroughly investigate and research before applying for either the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserve cards. And finally, keep up to date with the most recent information and real-world accounts from other people in the credit card community.